Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Hindie M. Klein. I'm a psychologist, psychoanalyst in private practice, and I'm also a senior clinical consultant for OHEL Children's Home and Family Services. And I want to start off by saying thank you to Devorah Krasniansky of Psyd for inviting me to come and speak here for just a few minutes about marriage, that wonderful, joyful relationship. And this talk will be geared for newlyweds or for young couples who are premarital, who are about to get married. But in essence, the thoughts and the concepts and the philosophies that I'm going to be speaking about really kind of transcend new marriages and really can be applied to all marriages, whether it's 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, or 50 years, because these are the best. I think that these are some of the best ideas in terms of communicating and really being able to get along and have a wonderful, rich, happy, joyful marriage. So let's begin. I always like to talk about the 3 C's of marriage. A lot of the work and a lot of the readings that I've done is from different programs, marriage programs. There's John Gottman, who has done amazing work and amazing research into marriages. And also there's another individual by the name of Howard Markman. You can look these guys up and look at their research and look at their programs. But I was always struck with the concept of the 3 C's of marriage. Communication, of course, learning how to communicate effectively. Compromise, learning how to compromise effectively. And these things are self-explanatory, but in a longer talk, I would explain what they mean more. But the third thing, which is really very important, is what I call conflict resolution. So conflict resolution is how you resolve conflicts, meaning how do you resolve your fights? So, of course, some very starry-eyed couples will say, fighting? We don't fight. But guess what? All couples fight. Even the most loving couples who really adore each other at one point or another in their marriage, whether it's early on or later, will fight, because that's just what couples do. They come from very different places. They each come with their histories and their family background. And even if they're from very similar backgrounds, they are still from different backgrounds. And you need to kind of take that into perspective. But so conflict resolution is not so much will they fight or won't they fight, but it's how you fight. And that's a really important concept. So it's not so much how you resolve conflicts is the way you fight in fair fighting so that the fighting will not be destructive, okay, and will not be mean and nasty. So under conflict resolution, I have 3 more things. No name calling, ever. Very destructive, really very destructive. So no name calling, no hitting below the belt, if you know what that expression means, saying things that can really be really, really hurtful, like really jabbing at your most vulnerable points, vulnerable issues within the other person, and speak in feeling language, which means instead of saying to your spouse, your partner, instead of saying to them, oh, you're a this and you're a that and you're an idiot and you're stupid and whatever else will come out of a very angry place. And by the way, usually under anger is usually a lot of sadness. But instead of saying that, saying, I'm feeling very sad or very hurt or very angry or very happy or very frustrated because of, and then you fill in what's going on and you process the information that way. So no name calling, no hitting below the belt, and speak in feeling language. Really important points. And then also, of course, how you communicate and how you compromise on things. Now, when you have these discussions, when you want to kind of get your point across, another very important point is understanding the other person's perspective. Because we come from different places, you might have, it's not even so much a matter of right or wrong. It's a matter of you need to understand how I feel about things, and I need to understand about how you feel about things. And that's what I mean about understanding people's perspectives. And when you have a good sense of understanding people's perspectives, it goes a long way in being able to, number one, resolve conflict, because, you'll understand where they're coming from a little bit, and also in terms of being able to communicate better. So again, and you want to be able to see their perspective. Now, how do we do this? What is the best way to communicate? A lot of people communicate nowadays via text, via email. They feel, well, it's not so threatening. I'll get my point across via a text and not necessarily sit down with the person face to face, eye contact, body language, just looking at each other and really, really talking. So, so important. So important. I use the metaphor of sitting down at the kitchen table. You don't have to be at a kitchen table. You could be in the park. You could be at your dining room table. You could be anywhere. But as long as you're sitting near each other, across from each other, looking at each other, eye contact is really important. Eye to eye, heart to heart, where you can really speak to one another in the ways that I just described before. No phones, by the way. Very often, we sit down. Oh, just 1 minute, I got to take that call. And just 1 minute, I got to take that text. No. We leave our phones at the door, in the drawer, anywhere. But when you sit down to have a really meaningful discussion with your spouse, with your partner, with your wife or husband to be, you sit or of your wife or husband of 50 years, you quote unquote sit down at the kitchen table, you put your phones or other devices away, and you look at one another and you speak in feeling language. And those types of way of communicating will lead to better compromise, will lead to a more fruitful way to resolve conflict, especially if you speak in speaking language and no name calling. Nowadays when there's so much uncertainty because of COVID, it's just such an uncertain time. So we need all the tools and all the strength that we have to really make our relationships shine and be as rich and as joyful as possible. Laughing, by the way, doing things together that are joyful and fun, and just kind of appreciating each other's personalities and humor and different perspectives can also be a wonderful way to communicate and have a better marriage. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you need to reach out to me, again, my name is Dr. Hindie M. Klein. And if you, a great resource for any sort of resources is OHEL is a great resource, www.ohelfamily.org. Reach out to OHEL. They have a variety of different services and programs and psychotherapy and anything you might need to have a more wonderful life. And take good care. And see you next time.